Hey guys, Charlie here. There are some videos that you watch that on the surface seem totally normal, but when you peel back the layers and find more out about the video, you see that it's far from normal. Here are some videos that seem normal at first, but when you learn the backstories to these videos, you'll see that they're incredibly creepy. So, let's get into it. Birthday message. This video comes from Russia. It shows a mother, her son, and her daughter singing a birthday message. The woman was recording this for her mother who lives far away. As you can see, they're all holding love heart balloons. And they're singing the woman's mother or kid's grandmother happy birthday in what sounds like German or Russian.
1, 2, 3, 4. Zum Geburtstag viel Glück. Zum Geburtstag.
It all seems pretty happy and normal at first. At the end of the video, when they're done singing, they all try and pop their balloon at once. But as they're doing this, look closely at the mirror behind them. It looks like some sort of spirit enters the room, but then vanishes. Now, you would think because the mirror's reflecting what they would see that they would freak out, but they all stayed very calm and didn't notice anything abnormal. So maybe this ghost only showed up in the mirror and not in real life for them. Then, as if things could not get any weirder, the mirror falls right off the wall.
Alles Liebe zum Geburtstag, Mama!
Strangely, this happened just as the mother said the word mother. Some have said the woman's mother who they were sending this to actually passed away, and a few were theorizing that this was her ghost, but I can't find anything to actually back that up. So maybe the ghost has nothing to do with the mother who the message was for, and instead this was just a piece of paranormal activity caught on camera. Either way, it looks very convincing and scary. Nautilus. UC-3 Nautilus is a submarine which was made by this man. This guy's name is Peter Madsen. You may not have heard of him, but he is a very famous engineer and inventor from Denmark. Some have said he was basically like the Danish version of Elon Musk. He was a pretty fascinating guy. He made things like submarines and even a spacecraft. The spacecraft actually worked and he went in it himself. It did not actually enter space, but still, it's pretty interesting and a lot of people were fascinated by Peter. That includes a Swedish journalist named Kim Wall. Kim had been following Peter's work for some time and was fascinated by him. She thought it could be a great scoop to interview him and spend some time with him. So in 2017, she flew to Denmark and met him. A video of Peter and Kim in the submarine before they set off was taken. But later that night, Kim's boyfriend who she was traveling with was set to meet her. However, she never showed up, and by this time it was very late at night. Peter Madsen, however, did show up. He said that his submarine, Nautilus, had sunk, and that Kim was in the submarine at the time. He claimed that he escaped and tried to help Kim escape too, but was unsuccessful. Already people thought this sounded very fishy, pardon the pun. A lot of people were saying that this was no accident whatsoever, and those people were right. It was later found that Peter had planned this all out. Him and Kim went down in the submarine where Peter took her life. He did this using a blade which he had brought onto the submarine before in preparation. He then deliberately sunk Nautilus, hoping that Kim would never be found. But after diving crews did find her, Peter was arrested. He was found guilty on all charges and was sentenced to life in prison in April of 2018. But in 2020, a new development occurred. Peter Madsen actually escaped from prison. He is an engineer after all. He basically made some fake explosives which the guards thought were real. He then basically bluffed his way out of prison and ran away. He did not get very far though, as cops were surrounding the prison and they stopped him. To this day, the video of Kim and Peter on the submarine really creeps me out. Kim had no idea that this would be the last video of her ever taken. It seems so normal on the surface until you learn the backstory. Ambulance ghost. One day a man was sitting in traffic minding his own business. An ambulance was stopped in front of him, which he thought was fairly normal. But that's when in the window of the ambulance's back door he saw something that sent a chill down his spine. You can't see it too clearly until the ambulance's brake lights turn off. But when you do, you can clearly make out a very pale figure in the window. An oval-shaped white head can clearly be made out. The question is, what is it? Some say it could simply be someone sitting up on a stretcher. But if that was the case, wouldn't the ambulance have its emergency lights on? Also, this figure appears to lack facial features and any color to their face. This has led some to speculate it could be the ghost of someone who passed away inside the ambulance. After all, this does happen a lot, and you'd almost think that there would be more ghost sightings in ambulances. But what do you guys think? Is this a spirit, a patient, or something else? I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to be giving a close look to the next ambulance I drive behind. You never know if you might see a spirit staring back at you while you wait in traffic. Desert creature. This video comes from a man named Christopher Zochling. The video shows two men driving through the desert of an Arabic-speaking country. They hadn't seen any people for miles and miles, but that's when in the distance they saw a dark figure. At first they say it's a woman, it's a woman. But as they get closer, they realize that's not the case. If you zoom in, you can only really make out the silhouette of this figure. But whatever this is, it does not exactly look like a human. Maybe it's some kind of animal or creature that lives in the desert. Some even speculated that it could be a spirit or ghost. Either way, Christopher thought maybe whatever it is or whoever it is needs help. He turned around to try and help them out, but when he did, the figure was gone. To this day, exactly what this figure was remains a mystery. Human arrow. On the surface, this video looks kind of bizarre, but when you learn the backstory, you'll see it's actually pretty amazing, if not rather scary. The video, which comes from a police helicopter, shows 8 children on the floor. They are forming an arrow shape. The reason why they were doing this was to help the police helicopter filming them. The helicopter follows the arrow and turns on their heat-sensitive camera. It does not take them long to find 2 heat-sensitive white spots. The 2 white spots on the heat-seeking camera are 2 men who have been going into people's homes. The men were trying to make a run for it. That's when the kids who were on an Easter egg hunt saw them. They noticed that the police helicopter was searching for them, so they helped out the police by pointing them in the right direction. These men may still be on the loose today if it weren't for these quick-thinking kids. It must be pretty scary being a kid on an Easter egg hunt, when the next thing you know, you're helping police bust 2 wanted criminals. These children went from searching for Easter eggs to searching for criminals. The kids were successful and cops apprehended the 2 home invaders, and they would have gotten away with it if it weren't for those pesky kids. Darnell. In recent times, doorbell cameras have got more and more popular. These can be good for home security, but sometimes they capture very scary things. This creepy doorbell camera video comes from Las Vegas. It shows a woman running to the door to try and get away from someone. All of a sudden, a large man comes running down the path. Various plants had been knocked over, and you can't hear much in the video except for the woman screaming in fear. One thing you do hear, however, is a single name, Darnell. This was enough for police to identify the man and track him down. Thankfully, he was later arrested. But the video gets even worse when you learn this detail which you can't see in the video. Behind the tinted window of the car was the woman's child watching this all. This must have seriously scared the child. But thankfully, the man in the video, Darnell Rogers, has been arrested. Brian Shaffer. In 2006, Brian Shaffer was on spring break. He was a very popular student from Ohio, and he was caught on CCTV entering a bar and talking to some friends. But the creepy thing is, this was the last known sighting of Brian. He was never seen leaving the bar, only going in. His friends assumed he left the bar, so they left to look for him. But he was never caught on camera leaving the bar. It's like he just vanished into thin air. People have since recorded retracing his steps, and this proves it's pretty much impossible for him to just vanish. But that's what happened. 15 years later, he has still never been found. Desert Cave. This video comes from a YouTuber named Snakebit McGee. He talks about 2 discoveries he made that scared him. One was a big hole in the desert and the other was a cave. His subscribers were interested and they asked him to go back and make another video trying to find the cave. He agreed and went to do this. but he never returned from his trip to find the cave. He has never been found and no one knows what happened to Snakebit McGee. Some believe he simply fell into a cave somewhere and has never been found. His vlogs still remain on YouTube, but they're very eerie to watch knowing what we know now. Hopefully someday this guy can be found. But sadly, the chances of him staying alive while trapped inside a cave are very slim. If there are ever any updates on any of these stories, I will be sure to let you guys know. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Comment down below which of these videos was the scariest. If you want some more videos by me, then check out my second channel. But as always, thank you for watching. There are some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.